Yanasi tikua sarahia latiana kopoa sarahia sharukun. Anahia satiarakian. Anahia satiarakian. Araku sarahua sarahua sarahua. Andiru. Andiru.
Mm. Ongote shendroaka aishiomo dudundi kishi uinda paton kotrulutoron kritika tatuko tu tumbribili kandrupetetikinti ashuma. Kuati Tuhan ya, kuati tu. Hmm. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hello. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's conversation.
You tuned into a juicy one. I'm just gonna take a breath as we ground into it.
Yes, 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 yes. So today we're really excited to be talking about rituals. Rituals. So we wanted to start today's conversations with some light language. So we're always curious, how did that feel for you? The intention was really just to bring us into the present, to gather ourselves. So how was that for you? We'd love to know. But the rituals that we want to talk about are those that actually support us in cultivating our gifts and whatever that may be. So we're going to be sharing a couple of like our most
Personal.
valued right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, the ones that are really resonant and super helpful for this chapter of cultivating our gifts.
Yes. Yeah, and they help in so many different ways. So yeah, we're going to get right into it, and we want to invite you to be a part of the conversation. So please do utilize the comment sections and share a couple of your rituals that you have right now that are deeply supporting you in many ways, and also to really cultivate and connect with yourself. So yeah, let's start. So Esther, do you want to share with us what is that first one? You can even share with us deeper on like what a ritual is for you personally, what that
Thank
looks
you.
like. So
Mm.
yeah, I'm excited.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm definitely curious as well of what your idea of a ritual is. I know that we briefly looked at like, oh, what's the definition of a ritual? And a lot of it's like a series of actions or type of behavior that people perform as a part of their rite. And I think personally, I've always had rituals from a young age because they're just like
Mm.
the peculiar thing that you do, that nobody is telling you to do, but you just feel led in your soul, like, I gotta do this. And for me, a lot of them are like really simple. Like, I love to dance. I find like dancing in the morning, putting on a certain playlist, like making a playlist for the morning to get the right energy in for the day, move that energy through. That's been amazing. That has been like, and it ties into now, instead of dancing, it's more like more yin, more stretching, a lot more. It just looks like, okay, I'm waking up in the morning, I roll out of bed, and I literally like, I just do my stretches. I always do child's pose. I'm always doing the neck rolls. And lately, just to challenge myself a little bit, I will practice doing a challenging pose. Like, for a while it was the crow, and right now it's just planking. Like, I'm just I'm just planking for a couple minutes. Sometimes it's just breath retention, but I like to end the morning ritual, I guess, for me anyways, getting out of bed with like movement of any kind. And bonus points if it kind of challenges me a little bit for like a tiny win in the morning, that I'm like, okay, I just woke up, but I'm already like moving into my body, and I've done a small thing that shows, that proves to me that I can do it. and that's been so helpful for cultivating a sense of like self-reliance and
Mm.
connecting with the body, really expressing through movements. It's been really helpful.
Oh, I love that. Thank you for sharing that. I do something very similar where I also try to like challenge myself a little bit, especially when it comes to my body. So it like almost like pulls you out of your head. And you're like, "Oh my gosh, I did this." And the self-reliance is such an important thing. Holy moly. Like I've been seeing it as like that sense of self-trust. And like my rising rituals is like me building trust with the parts of me that are like getting into alignment, all getting into place with like what it is that I'm building in my life and like my connection to my gifts and like my ability to trust in my gifts. So, thank you for sharing that. I have one that's very similar I want to share. So, I think that we definitely have like a very similar and probably the same idea of like a ritual, something that like w- has meaning, something that we do repetitively that just has meaning. We do it every single day, or, if something comes up or when the time calls, we go and we do this thing. Something I wrote down first was doing things that bring me into my breath. So whether that is like challenging myself in certain yoga poses or certain exercises, Pilates, maybe even just doing like somatic practices, like going outside and outside in the backyard right now. That's the backyard isn't done, so it's like very rocky and it's hard and it's rough. So I go out like barefoot and I'm like, all right, we're gonna do this, and I do like my somatic practice, and every movement is like it's very much like vinyasa where you're pairing the movement with the breath. So every single one is like gathering me into my breath, and this really helps me like when I tune into my breath, it helps me ground into my body, and then it allows me this remembrance of what it feels like to feel like the actual energy circulation in my body, which is so helpful. So helpful for like starting my day or even like resetting myself, like from any spaces of distraction, from any spaces of like comparison, from any places where I'm being pulled like away from myself, where I feel my focus going away from myself. When I do the breath, grounded into the body, it just like I'm like, oh, she back. Oh, we're here.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's like it's not like I know that with rituals, sometimes it's like, okay, it's like the same kind of action. And I think what we're getting here is that like it's not always the same action, but it's more so like, what the intention is behind this. And like it has its key
Absolutely.
elements.
The intention, I think that's like the big driving force
Yeah.
for it. Like, there are so many ways that you can connect to breath, but I love that yours is it's connecting the body and it's connecting the mind to be aware of the movement of energy through your body. And like every person is different, and I think that's like really really important to like highlight.
It's yeah.
Yeah. Like, what works for us may not resonate for you. And that's a good thing because, you're your own soul. Um, and yeah, that ties into I'm curious about, like, of course, there are some rituals that, like, groups of people do. And that is a part of their sect of belief. And that's tied to their right to do it. And I know we looked like the word ritual comes from the word right. Like you
It's like
are
an
right.
old English word, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a
And it's
Latin word.
RITE.
Yes, ma'am. So I think that's really interesting. Like we know what is right for ours to cultivate our souls and cultivate our gifts. And it's not necessarily going to look like someone else, even if it's the same intention. And that's so important. So, okay.
Yeah. I do
Um,
want to add, like, when I think of right, I also think of like maybe the rituals really coming from those rites of passage that we used to
mm,
have that we should really still honor. Hint, hint. But that's what it makes me think of is like our rites of passage, for sure. And I could see how that could like over time just really turn into like these ritualistic things that we offer ourselves that hold that intention. But yeah, what is I'd love to know like another ritual that you have that really supports you in cultivating your gifts, and like what gift? How does it do it?
Ma'am. So this one sounds so simple, but oh gosh, I have so many. I have so many. Some of them are like a little quirky. Like I was thinking, oh, I've been wearing clothing based off of the day of the week for a while. Like green is
What?
Thursday, blue is Friday, purple is Saturday. And for me, it's just like, this is a way for me to align with the energy that I'm into the chakras. So I'm like, okay, that's the energy center that I'm focusing on that day. And wearing the clothing has just been a fun way to use the stuff in my closet and express myself and style myself in a way that feels like this is a reminder throughout the day. Like this is the energy that I'm cultivating. It's
Mm-hmm.
fun. It's just been so fun. And it's been cultivating a sense of like, this is my presence that I have in the world. And I get to choose how I show up. And the days where I do like style myself, and even if it's like a small pop of color here and there, it just brings so much joy, and it really does, I guess, give boldness. I realize that my soul or my spirit must be very bold, because it doesn't seem scared about things that maybe other people are scared of in terms of like
Mm.
judgment or putting a skirt on as a shirt, because I think it looks cool. Like, and that's been a really fun thing to play with. And lately, just being in the ritual of like what to wear, just having that structure to fall back on of like, okay, what colors do I have and what day is it? Okay, that's what I'm gonna wear. It's
Mhm.
somehow made dressing myself simpler, and that's
I
amazing.
love that. You know what? As long as I've known you, Esther, like you've been you've been honoring like the days of the week and their association with the chakras like as a reflective tool for such a long time. I think like people should know what the days are. If you want to like go through like the
Oh, of
days and its
course.
chakra correlation and its color, that would be so cool. I think that would be
Uh,
interesting, like for those of us that may not even realize that we're like, oh, this energy makes so much sense. Just like people astrologically connect like the planets. Like I know I connect the planets
mm,
to the days of the week, especially in business and like productivity. So yeah, if
mm.
you want to share,
Of
I'd love
course,
to.
yeah. This was like a whole ritual in itself. Oh my goodness. So, um, Monday is the root chakra day. It's all about grounding, time blocks. That's the day where I put down everything that I need to do for the week. I like look at the week and plan it out and block it out. Tuesday is the sacral, and it's like my inner child day. Sometimes I try to go on like a date with myself or paint. I think painting or doing some kind of craft that maybe I'm not familiar with or just really love. Like, Tuesday is the day where we tap into the creativity. Wednesday is when I get shit done. Wednesday is the day where like that high priority task that I know is important. And at the beginning of the week, I'm like, this is the most important for me to do. That's the day where I'm like, okay, let's sit down and really do it. And it's also a day where I try to just find things that I value and really acknowledge them and highlight them. And Thursday, which is today, the day that we're recording this, it's like clean. It's the heart chakra, and it's the day where I really clear stuff out. Like I went to the library to drop off some books, got some more books, and I just like to do a little housekeeping. It's a really chill day. I like to tap into my heart and generally speaking, spend time with someone that I love. So yes, of course I love Aria, so I love spending time with her. You already know. And then the throat chakra day is, Friday, and it's a day where I'll send emails if I have any announcements. It's just the day where I find it's easy to like communicate. And then Saturday is the third eye, and that's all about analyzing like how did the week go? Did I get everything done that I said I was gonna get done? Were there time blocks I honored or didn't honor? And it's just like analyzing, taking a step back, seeing what worked. And finally, Sunday, the crown day, is just the day of rest. It's a day of rest, connecting with the creator, really rejuvenating my soul, and just settling into that good feeling of like warmth that, the creator has with for us.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you for sharing. I'd love to hear and like in the comments if anyone's like, "Oh my gosh," or if anyone practices anything like this, like any reflections on that, I think is so fascinating. So thank you for going through that. And
Thank
it's
you,
cool to
Ari.
see that like you have this connection with the chakras and like the days of the week to where like you notice that your energy is also aligning
Mm,
with that association and what that means for you.
oh yeah. That's so crazy because honestly, before you mentioned it, it's now such a normal part of my day to day
Yeah.
that I don't even think of it as a ritual.
That's why I was blanking. We were like, all right, we're gonna write a few rituals down because that's what we're gonna talk about today. And I was like, what do I do every day? But it's because it's like you naturally do it. It's like a part of our lives now, which is so cool, which is so nice.
Absolutely. So I'm curious because you were blanking, but it makes sense. I feel like your whole essence, the being that you are, is so intuitive and intentional with how you use your energy. And so of course I'm curious to hear, what came up as you're reflecting on the rituals.
I'll share. So I have two more that I like thought of, and I want to chat a little bit about them. So the first one, or the second one technically, this one, I was like, okay, what am I gonna name this? Because it's such an intricate part of my day-to-day like connection to myself,
Mm,
especially like in allowing myself to develop my clairs, like my clairaudience
mm,
and my clairvoyance and my clairsentience, like really connect with that and deepen into once again that theme of like self-trust and reliance and love. And this is just really meditating with myself. And it's not like the type of meditation where you're just doing your pranayama. You sit there, you try and like, center yourself, allow the thoughts to flow by, but this is like intentional. I'm like, all right, what are we working with today? What like guide, higher self, like who am I connecting with today? What is here? And I love to do this like first thing when I wake up, actually, lately. And then
mm,
like the last few weeks, this has been my practice. I'll get up, I'll write down my this is another ritual actually, journaling my dreams. I love it. It just goes so deep. That's like a whole other conversation. But
mm,
I'll do that ritual. And then I'll go into this connection to myself and what was coming through, whether it was through a dream, whether it was through a feeling that I'm still holding on to after the dream, if I'm feeling something in general, or what I get to do in the day. So I just open myself to connect to my guides, my higher self, the earth, source, all of the highest and purest light for my highest and best good and the highest and best good of all that is for all of us, right? And I use my imagination, I use my intuition, and I think this really builds
mm,
like and cultivates my gifts in a huge way. And this is actually how I help my clients and is like, a little bit of like a sneak peek of what I'm going to be sharing just with everyone in general is kind of like this process of just going into myself and navigating whatever is arising from this place of what others may see as imagination, but it's really just like deep inner journeying and like conversations with myself and like self-soothing and like rebuilding and journaling. It involves everything. And I think this is like a ritual that I realize is like huge when it comes to continuing to nourish my gifts and myself and to really heal myself. So that's okay. It became a lot bigger than I thought it was. I thought I was just gonna name them, but I was like, that one, sheesh, like that one is really, really powerful.
Imagination. It's like the magical dust that the inner child knows so well. And it's the source of all solutions, really. We're faced with problems, but you have to use that imagination in order to even believe that there is a solution to something that you see.
Hmm.
Oh, oh, wow. Of course, I want to ask about like imagination is playing a big role with even light language. And like you said,
Hmm.
developing all of the spiritual gifts. It's so tied with loosening that grip of how we see reality. So I love that. Thank you.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, it's very exciting, and I think that's like the only word I could really give it, even though it's like I'm not technically imagining all of these things, but sometimes in moments, like it will be literally me if I know that I'm reprogramming a belief, that I'm working on shifting something in my life, integrating something that I actually want to heal and change, right? That I get to like turn on some music and like listen to it and literally imagine and just like build my life from that framework of like this new program and like this new way of being and believing. And I think that using our imagination in that ways like is so healing to our nervous system and is so like you just build that self-trust and like your ability to manifest, to change, to heal and so
Oh
juicy.
my goodness. Okay, last note, because this is bringing me back to when I was dancing. And you're right. Like, imagination was the biggest tool used in like whatever song it was. I was able to imagine the kind of energy that I was moving through and really bring it up. And the words would help, but that the imagination is what connects the dots between things that
Yeah.
seemingly don't have any relation. So I love that, Aria. Thank you for sharing.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Okay, so do you have a ritual that like specifically supports you in utilizing your light language or developing it or honoring it? Like what ritual would that be?
Oh man, I think for me personally, dancing was definitely one because it got me into the body using imagination, but also singing. For like 2 years, I would sing almost every day. I used an app, it's discontinued, but it was called Voicey, and you had all of these different composers and producers that would share like samples of their tracks. It'd be like a minute long, and I remember,
I remember that.
yes, I was crazy for like so like anytime I felt anything, I would go hop on there and I'd just freestyle. I'd just go off. I would start singing. I'd start sharing whatever was on my heart. Like the words would just come. All of a sudden I could rap. I was like, where am I getting these words from? Like how is it that we're able to piece together these sentences on the fly? And I realized like that helped a lot with light language, with like opening my mind up to allowing that expression to flow through without necessarily having to pre-plan everything, just
Mm,
going with the flow, listening to my own voice and realizing like that was so therapeutic. Like, Aria, I cannot begin to tell you the things that were happening in my life at that time. I
wow.
don't know what I would have done if I didn't sing every day, because it was like anything I felt at any time, any situation, anything that I like, a spark of emotion. I was like, let's take this and let's just explore it and let's just sing about it. And it is something even to this day I'm like, okay, I usually it's like, yeah, sing in the shower or sing in the car. If I'm alone, I sing because I'm just like, oh, I enjoy sharing my voice. And now with light language being that layer of connecting with source, if I'm alone, a lot of the times I don't even feel like I don't need to use human words. If I'm singing to the trees
Mhm.
and the birds, the bees and stuff, I can sing in this song and this tone that is just connected with the soul and is connected with them in that intention that it will even more deeply connect with the life around me. So yes, singing has been amazing. Singing has been a way of like how I pray as well. Like I'm just talking to the creator through these rhythms, and light language is also, for me, I believe a lot of the times with the intention, a form of prayer where I'm connecting to source and I'm saying, hey, this is what's going on. This is the energy that I'm streaming through. Just asking for that divine guidance and grace as I go through and the day, transmutate any energy that is looking to be changed. And yeah, I am so, so thankful that I found singing. I don't really consider myself a singer per se, but like just being able to use my voice.
Mhm.
thing. So, yes.
Snaps. That's beautiful. That's so, so beautiful. Ugh, please. If your voice is being called right now to come out, allow it. Please do. That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that, Esther. And yeah, we forget that. I almost was like, oh yeah, singing is like huge for this. And, like, I mean, light language being like that, really that just pure form of expression of our soul and what we're experiencing and what we are here to share. Like, yeah, so beautiful. I actually like my ritual when it comes to that is also kind of like a form of singing, but a lot of like the light language I notice, especially when I speak to the plants or my garden or the trees or the land, a lot of it's like coming through as thought. Like it's like
Mm,
internal song that I hear. Yes.
yes. And
Yes.
like, and you're like tuned into the channel. And then you can like let the words out. Like you already know the lyrics.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like I'm listening to this song because that's what comes through a lot. And I think this always reminds me to like return to this gift of light language and this gift of being able to express in this way that it is so like pure and just it has no confines, right? There like are no boundaries here. There can't be any kind of um what is the word? It can't be diluted. It
Yeah,
can't necessarily
restricted,
restricted. Yeah, it's
distorted.
distorted. That's the word. That's the word. Yeah. It's not like something that can be distorted. So in just connecting with the land and the plants around me and the mountain and the water, like I when I sit and just listen and be, and then that song comes through and then I can speak it aloud and they kind of like help me with the rhythm and the certain sounds, and it's just the sweetest, most expansive and enlightening and relaxing thing ever. And I realized that even just going out today to walk my dogs and just wait a moment to sit with this like salt cedar tree that's been calling to me and started growing in the backyard, and I was like, all right, we're here to connect with one another. They gave me this song. I was like playing around with it and it kept repeating, and it was just reminding me that like, oh, this is a ritual I get to return to again and again to to really remind myself of like I'm here to connect and communicate in this way, especially with the land and the plants and the creatures. So that is something that I know always brings me back to that gift and assists me in continuing to cultivate it. And it feels so exciting. It's that medicine and connection. But yeah, that's very similar to the singing. But mhm.
Yes, ma'am. And I think it's interesting, like you mentioned, you hear the melody and you're connecting with nature. And I wonder, like, if that is you are hearing the expression of the energy around you in such a way where it's like inviting you to join the conversation, to join
Mhm.
with your voice and connect with that harmony. And oh,
Oh, that's what it feels like. Ah.
yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Oh.
So, so now we shared a couple. I'm curious, you person listening to this, what rituals do you have? I believe everyone has rituals, whether they realize it or not, you know? Some people have like kind of OCD level of rituals where it's kind of hard for them the the narratives that they have around maybe coming from places that are not fully from love, like you mentioned. Maybe there's a little bit of distortion, and to that I say, I pray that you find a divine balance and harmony and purity in the rituals that are meant for your soul and the expression that they are. Um, Another note is that people do you feel like people have to understand your rituals in order for you to do them?
Mm, that's a really good point. Are your rituals for you or are they for others? I think this, like when we can really tap into rituals that can deeply support us in connecting to ourselves and cultivating our gifts for whatever it is to just like come back into oneness within, like it's gotta be for you. It's for you, but it's ultimately serving everyone else. But if we notice that there is that distortion of like, am I doing this for someone else? Am I doing this um,
From the
not
listener?
necessarily. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a really good, reflective thing. I'm like off the top of my head, have I ever done anything that like I wonder if you
Mm.
have, Esther. Like
Hmm.
I'm like, oh, this
I think like right there's that part of like the inner child that wants to be accepted and is a bit of a people pleaser. So there could be a ritual of like, agreeing, like just agreeing automatically, assuming that like what the other person is saying is right. Really I
yeah.
bring this up because I was randomly at the beach and this grown man came up to me. He's like, I'm at the beach, it's great. I'm like, okay, man, you talking to me for whatever reason? That's I guess for a reason. And he was like, yeah, I don't tell anyone because they don't understand why I'm at the beach to breathe. And I'm like, that's totally okay. You don't have to tell everyone. And he's like,
Mhm.
but I don't think they understand. Is that like a bad thing? And I was like,
Mm.
I don't think it's a bad thing. um, and it's connecting with the rituals that we do. Of course, like you said, Arya, I think they're for us to cultivate our gifts. How have you ever like faced someone either not understanding why you're doing a ritual? Like, have you faced
Oh,
any kind of, and how did you process that? I guess that's.
yeah. Yeah, I think that I mean definitely 100%. There's always going to be people that question. Like I've had people question even like at events like my
Mm,
light language and just like simple things and I would just kind of like explain to them like, "Hey, this is what I do. This is how long I've been doing it." Like gosh, it's been so transformative for me. It's incredible. Or just like little things that I do at home. And I think what really helped me in detaching from that connection and that assumption or um to like how it felt to receive this
mm,
type of judgment, it was more so just taking away the role and responsibility that I put on everyone else to see me as like accepted, to see me
mm,
as good, to see me as anything, right? So taking away, like taking off the role and responsibility of that, of needing them to tell me my worth and that I'm doing the right thing. So like when I finally like recognize that within myself in my own like little meditation swirly burly practice, it clicked, and then I realized that I was less reactive. I wasn't triggered if anything come up. It didn't damp me. You know how like it makes you feel smaller sometimes when people don't understand. And instead I was like, okay, hey, like it's not for them to understand. Like it's not their job to understand. It's not their job to say that it's good for you to feel good in doing it. And I think that we really get to reclaim our life as our own. And yeah, that's all I'll say on that.
goodness.
Yeah.
Snaps to that because yeah, I think for some of the things that I've done, like okay, obviously I'm sharing some of the more subtle things, but like sometimes when I pray, people will be like, "What are you doing? Why are
Mhm.
you doing that? It doesn't work." And like any ritual, you- it's more about the act of being in that element and doing it, like actively cultivating, like breathing and being aware than like the end result. Sure, it's going to bring more awareness. It's going to increase your sensitivity to the body and strengthen your relationship to your, source. But at the end of the day, like ritual is not done because we want to get something. It's done because it's that state of being when we are there. And that's why we do it, to be in
Yes.
that presence.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Yes. Yes.
so
I have
yeah.
nothing to add to that. That's yeah, that's it. That's it. So, thank you for being here, everyone. If you enjoyed this conversation, please do like, please do comment, like let this be a conversation. We love holding these types of spaces. We actually have a free monthly space called the Soul Resonance Support Group that you can join to receive a full energy aligning transmission. We do some somatic practices every now and then, meditate. We have these types of conversations face to face over Zoom every single month for free. So if you enjoy this, check it out in the description below. Do you
Oh,
have
enjoy.
any final words, Esther, as we close out here?
Oh my goodness. Thank you. I feel so, so thankful for this conversation. I pray that every single person listening to this continues to deepen in their own practices and rituals and the relationship they have with their gifts. And I look forward to all those that will join us on the third Sunday of the month for our soul support group call.
Yes. Thank you all so much. Sending you so much love. And we'll see you next time.